Assalamu alaikum, dear learners. I hope you are quite well by the grace of Almighty Allah. I am also fine. So today I am again here to teach you English first paper. You know that in our previous class we discussed on English second paper, but today we are here to discuss on English first paper. So welcome again to Amader Pathshala. You know that this is our educational program, and it will be very helpful if you are a regular student with Amader Pathshala. Hopefully you are with us. So let's go today's lesson. Today's lesson is for both the student of 11 and 12 class. So let's see what is the topic. So you know that English first paper, today we are talking about English first paper, and the topic is unit 4 or 7. Why I have written it this, the 4 or 7, because in new edition the chapter is unit 7, but the previous edition, that means for the student of 12 it will be unit 4, lesson 1, but the content is same for the student of 11 and 12. So what is the title of the lesson? How your brain negotiates traffic. That means how can we cope up with traffic, that means the movement of traffic or vehicles, etc. So after learning this, what will be the benefit, or what will we learn from this session, from this chapter or this topic? So after our learning outcomes, what will be the learning outcomes? We will be able to understand the passage, increase word power, that is very necessary to learn a language, especially English language. You need to know a lot of words, and then we will go to syllabus oriented activities, MCQ and open-ended questions, and then we will know how to just collect information and show it through flowchart, and last of all we will know how to summarize a passage. So today I should say it, and I should make you clear that this syllabus is better for student of 11 and 12. You need to understand MCQ and open-ended question. You know that your syllabus have been abridged, and your syllabuses and flowchart and summary, both topic has been excluded. Both topics have been excluded for the student of 12. So you will not need, you will not practice flowchart or summary, but the student of 11 you must need, because summary and flowchart have been included in your syllabus. So let's read the passage first. Read the passage and answer the question A and B, A1 and A-B. When you are in the driving seat of a car, that means when you are going to drive a car, you have the steering and the horn in your hands. In your hands there is steering and horns, and the brake and accelerators under your feet. So brake means, you know that what is the activities of brake? Brake is used to working for just slow down the speed of a car, and accelerator means which works, the instrument or the machine works for speeding up the car. Under your feet, and eyes open looking ahead, and eyes are just need to be active, and ahead and left and right. So always we need to be very active, very conscious about our surroundings. The same can be said about a motorcycle rider. So same thing will happen, same case is necessary for motorcycle rider with some modification. What does it mean, modification? Modification means a little bit just change or alter might be, but almost same for the motorcycle rider. So a car driver and a motorcycle rider, the activities are almost same. A little bit modifications might be, or a little bit change might be there. These are all very visible. It means, what does it mean, visible? So it is very clear, anyone can see what's going on, what is the activities of our hands or legs or our eyes. It is visible, that means clear, distinct or obvious. But behind the scene, there is something that keeps working unseen. So there is something that is behind everything. My activities, my hands activities, my legs activities, my activities of eyes, there is behind everything, there is something, and that is the central processing unit, CPU, your brain. So here our brain has been compared to CPU. We know that CPU is a device or a machine that is used in computer especially. So CPUs are artificial intelligence machines. Here the definition of CPU are artificials. Artificially means fabricated or unnatural. Artificial intelligence machine that are programmed to do specific jobs, fixed jobs under fixed conditions. Conditions here means rules, fixed rules or fixed rules and regulations, and judgments means understanding. So without understanding or fixed condition or judgments, CPU cannot work actually perfectly. But what is the difference? Now we will find between brain and CPU. But the human brain is intelligent by nature. So human brain is natural, it is not artificial. Here is the difference between CPU and our brain. So if we look at the next para, so it is the most sophisticated. Here it is the pronoun of our brain. So our brain is the most sophisticated. Brain is the most sophisticated. Sophisticated means advanced, very much advanced machine that is able to operate on ever changing condition. So any situation, any moment the situation might be changed, and our brain can take decision, can handle this condition and understand of judgment, and it can understand everything. The situation can control our brain automatically. As the condition in the traffic keeps invariably changing, we know that the movement of traffic or vehicles, everything, any moment it can change its situation. So invariable means always changing. Invariably means always or all the times changing. It is just altering the situation. This virtue of sophistication of your brain must be at work. So as the vehicles, the movement of vehicles is changing, our brain needs to be very active, always, all the moment. So all the moment must be at work when you are driving, especially when we are going to drive or we are driving. We cannot just inactive for a single moment. Then any kind of unexpected things might accident occur. Then the difference between here we will find that we have to be conscious. Look at this sentence. The difference between traffic in the roads. So those traffics which are moving or just running in the roads, and highways. Highways means busy roads or wider roads than simple roads. Highways and racing circuits must not be blurring inside you. So the difference between traffic in the roads and highways and racing circuits where car race is arranged or organized must not be blurring. It must not be unclear to you or for a driver inside you. It means when we are going to drive, we shouldn't be unconscious about this. We should know what is the difference between roads, highways and racing circuits. Never imagine yourself. Here is a very good advice. This is the very much problem, or this is a real problem for nowadays, for our young generation especially, like you. Those are very imaginative and they are not practical when they are going to drive. Now imagine, never imagine yourself to be a Michael Schumacher driving an F1 at 300 miles per hour. That means don't think always when you are going to drive that I am a racer or just I am racing in a racing circuit. Michael Schumacher, we know that he is a good, he is a racing driver, and he can run in a racing circuit like 300 miles per hour. But we can't do this when we are going to drive in roads or highways. Never leave for fantasy. Fantasy, what does it mean? Fantasy, imagination. Never leave no room for fantasy. What does it mean? That means we need to be practical. Everyone needs to be practical. We cannot imagine that we are just racing with others. We need to be practical. You must always be ready to encounter. That means always we need to be ready when we are going to drive to face unexpected behavior. Encounter means face unexpected behavior from any vehicle or pedestrian. So any kind of vehicle or anyone or any passenger or passerby, pedestrian, same thing. Pedestrian means passerby, sidewalkers of the road. They can just behave unexpected behavior, or just unexpected behavior can be found from them. So always we need to be ready. Keep your cool is easy to advise but difficult to maintain. So it's easy to advise but difficult to maintain. It is not easy to keep cool, and we know that the proverb that it is easy to say but difficult to do. That is here, that keep your cool is easy to advise. It is just easy to say, but practicalizing is very tough. Still, you must always restrain yourself, because so always try to control yourself, because at the end of the day you don't want to be regarded as a killer, as a murderer. You don't want to kill anyone. Okay? Now you see the last thing, that means you don't want to be regarded, that is last thing that differentiates you from a computer, that separates, that differentiates, that clarify that you are not a machine. Differentiate you from a computer is your conscience. Conscience means ethics, principles that a human should have. So conscience must be needed for a human being. We are human being because we are conscious. So we have read this. If you find any kind of problem, any kind of grammatical or unknown word, you will ask me in our later section. So let's increase our vocabulary, our word power. So we have found some word here. Accelerator, that means a device that speed up a vehicle like car or motorcycle. So the synonym might be facilitator or stimulator. An antonym, that means opposite word, is deaccelerator. Modifications means some change. So change, variation, alteration. Visible means that is clear or noticeable, apparent, and the antonym is hidden, invisible, that we can't see. Artificially means synthetically or unnaturally, and the antonym is naturally. So write it down so that you can increase your stock of word or increase your word power. Invariably, this is an unknown word for some students. So invariably means always, regularly, constantly, and the antonym is never. Blur. So what does it mean, blur? Darken, unclear, dim, obscure, and antonym is clear and brighten. So next, judgment means assessment, decree, statement, estimate, antonym is misjudgment. Sophisticated, we have already learned that our brain is the most sophisticated machine. So advanced, cultured, and the antonym is artless, simple, unsophisticated, etc. Sorry, you can just take time to write down this. Operate means act, run, utilize. Or fantasy means fancy, dream, hallucination. They are much more just synonymous word, but not the exact word. Antonym, reality, practicality. Encounter means confront, face, or meet. So pedestrian, foot traveler, or worker. So like this, just write down. Then we should go here. Differentiate. This is a good word to know. Differentiate means alter, change, contrast, distinguish. Here the good synonym is distinguish, differentiate, and assimilate, associate, link is the antonym word. Conscience means ethics, morals. Exact word is difficult to tough to find, especially for conscience. Ethics, morals, principles. Central means chief, focal, fundamental, main, and the antonym is minor. Process, action, course, means, system. So all these are the synonymous word. A vehicle, a thing that can be used for transporting people or goods. So we have learned some words. Now we will practice some MCQ test. Let's see. Can you just make the answer? Okay. You will try to respond. First one, you will know that there will be 5 MCQ for 11 class student of 11 class, and 10 MCQ for the student of 12 class. As the syllabus have been changed according to the marks distribution, we will practice 5 here as the time is very limited. So let's start MCQ test. First one, in driving a car the hands are used. So when we are going to drive, hands are used to control accelerator, to maintain balance, to control the steering and horn. Yes, we have learned, yes, that we need our hands to control the steering and the horns when we are going to drive. So the answer will be to control the steering and the horns. We need not to go the next option. So number B, what does the word modification in the passage refer to? So what does it mean, modification? With some modification, we just learn it. So notification, moderation, continuation, persistence. What will be the answer? Let's try. So who can answer it? So yes, moderation. The answer is modification means a little bit change, means moderation is another synonymous word. Then the phrase eyes open looking ahead left and right means eyes have no role to play. This is exactly a wrong answer, I think. One has to be remain aware of the surroundings. Yes. So this is the right answer. Thank you. So one has to be remain aware of the surroundings. What's going on? Number 4, D, when one goes on driving, his or her brain remains indolent. So if you don't know what is the meaning of indolent, then you will find a little bit difficulty. But indolent means inactive. So it is wrong answer. Is visible. Her brain is visible. Hide all the instructions or instruct all other parts of the body. What will be the answer? Yes. His or her brain instructs everything of our body. So instructs all the other parts of the body. This will be the right answer. While driving, one must be ready to face expected situation. Is it so? No. We have learned that we must confront or we must encounter any kind of unexpected behavior from buses or vehicles or pedestrians. So we cannot expect expected situation, traffic rules, sophisticated of the brain, unexpected behavior. What will be the answer? Let's gaze, or anyone can answer it. Let's see. Okay, unexpected behavior. Yes. So we can face any kind of unexpected behavior. Now we will go to question answer, and this is there will be 5 questions, and the marks is each questions will carry 2 marks. So 10 marks for the student of 11 class, but marks will carry, it will be different for the student of 12 classes. It will carry, each question will carry 3 marks, but it does not matter. We will just practice some question answer now. Open ended question answer. What quality of our brain must be at work when we are driving? What may happen if it does not work well? Explain. So If it doesn't work, what will happen? So this is the answer I have given you. First one is done. Let's see. Open-ended means some information might be added out of the passage through your understanding. Our brain can operate on ever-changing conditions and standards of judgment. This quality of brain must be at work when we are driving. When we are driving, our brain needs to be active. If it doesn't work well, we will fail to cope with the ever-changing conditions in the traffic and may cause accident. Unwanted situation will occur. So this is the answer. Now next one, I will not give the answer first. You will try, then I will show the answer. Never imagine yourself to be a Michael Schumacher driving an F1 at 300 miles per hour. Why? Give reasons for your answer. So answer, what will be the answer? Let's see. We shouldn't never imagine ourselves to be a Michael Schumacher driving an F1 at 300 miles per hour. There is difference between traffic in the roads and racing circuit. When we drive on a certain road, we cannot cross the speed limit fixed for the road, for that road. So we cannot cross it, and if we cross, then accident might occur. Okay. So the next question is, why is there no room for fantasy when we drive a car on the road? So we cannot imagine, we cannot unrealistic. We must be practical. We must face the reality. Explain briefly. So what will be the answer? The answer might vary from student to student, but the answer will be like this. When we drive a car on the road, there is no room for fantasy because it will affect our attention and might cause serious accident, which we doesn't want. We don't want this kind of situation. Okay. Now, you must always be ready to encounter unexpected behavior from any vehicle or pedestrian. Why? Why we will be ready to encounter unexpected situation? We need to explain it. So, the answer is, we must always be ready to encounter unexpected behavior from any vehicle or pedestrian because they may change their track. They may change anytime unexpectedly and come in front of us, or they may suddenly run across the road. The pedestrian might run unconsciously. So we need to be very prepared for this, to encounter this, to face this unexpected situation. So the last question is here, what according to the passage is the last thing that differentiates us from a computer? Which differentiate human beings from computer? Explain with an example. So here we need to give an example also. The example hasn't been given in the passage, so we need to take it from outside of the passage. According to the passage, conscience is the last thing. Conscience, ethics, principles, morals. Conscience means vivek, okay, manushotto, that differentiate a human being from a computer. For example, while driving, conscience keeps us alert so that we might not cause death or injury to anyone. A computer does not have that feeling. So a computer doesn't have that feeling. So this is the difference between human beings and computer. Okay. So now we have learned some words, MCQs, and we have practiced open-ended questions. If we go, this is the first scene comprehension as a first scene. If we face this scene comprehension as a second comprehension, so we need to give some information from the passage through flowchart. So what is this? Based number 2 question, based on the passage, based on your reading of the passage, make a short notes on each of the box in the flowchart showing what you have to do when you are in a driving seat, what you need to do. So one has been done. for you, have the steering and the horn in hand. So steering and horns must be in our hand when we are going to drive. And later the 5, fill in the gaps, 5 information we must share, must write down. Okay. So try to write down the other activities that we need to do when we are going to drive. So let's try. Each flow chart will carry 2 marks. So let's see what will be the answer. Have the brake and accelerator under your feet. So always try to follow the same pattern if you can. Okay. So have the eyes open, looking ahead, left and right. So always try to look at your surroundings, what's going on. Okay. Have no room for fantasy. You cannot imagine when you are going to drive. You need to be much more practical. What's going on around you. Okay. So have no room, ready to encounter unexpected behavior from any vehicles or pedestrian, and keep cool. Above all, this is most important, keep cool. Okay. So these are the answers. So today we have practiced English first paper, and we have learned some MCQ, we have learned some open-ended questions and how to provide information in flowchart. So next we have to face a summary. So the summary might be 1/3. There is no limitation of words. This is the summary of the passage. So you can write down also and practice it and show me this later. So this is the summary. That's all. At the same time, your homework should be given as you are staying at home. So I am giving you a short paragraph, write a short paragraph basing on the passage. This is related with your this chapter, this passage. We have just learned that how brain negotiates traffic. So I am giving you a paragraph on traffic jam. What is the cause of the traffic jam and what is the effect of traffic jam in our life? So you will write down it within 200 words. Okay. So this is your homework. If you need to know more information, you can go our website. So our website address is www.mubcedu.bd. So thank you very much. Stay safe at home and study rigorously and very hard. If you face any problem, just knock us and we will try to solve every problem and make you understand about the language, especially English language. Okay? Thank you very much.